Hey, we are back.
Yeah, we is.
Again. And three times in a row with the guest.
Come on.
Am I right?
Yes, you are.
Three times in a row. Yeah,
Big things happening on this show.
Yeah, because my name is Trent.
And my name is Mark.
Duane.
Yeah. And this is
Geek Off The Street.
Greatest podcast of all time. Talk about geek culture, pop culture, whatever else you want. Deal with it. This week is no exception.
Yes.
We have our good friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Physical fitness guru, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah.
Give him a ticket to the gun show.
Yeah.
And modest.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we got Duane, Train With Duane.
Yeah.
Hub Fitness.
Yes.
All the above.
All the above.
On the show today.
Appreciate
to
it.
talk geek with us.
And a geek.
Yeah.
And
you
I
talk
say
about
it
that?
respectfully.
Yes,
Yeah.
respectfully.
Yes.
Yes, definitely a geek.
Yeah.
Yeah, I respect
Yeah, we're here to talk about that. We're just gonna have a nice conversation again. Yeah, with a fan.
Yeah.
About some geek stuff.
And before the show started, like we were talking a little bit. We're very prompt on this show. We don't mess around. We come in, we get right to work.
Yeah,
But
business, all business.
all business, all business. We were talking a little bit, and just I'm just kind of like eavesdropping a little bit on the but yeah, it's legit.
No,
You're legit.
Yeah, he's got
I was
some
paying
cred.
attention to all that stuff. He's dropping
He's got a
names.
little cred.
and
Yeah,
like
he's got some
this,
cred.
like that.
a little bit of geek cred. That's
Yeah.
it. Just a small amount.
That's
small
all you
amount.
need.
Yeah,
Then. That's
got
all
you.
you need.
Got you.
Yeah,
Amen.
yeah, definitely. But before we start that conversation, what are we drinking this week?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Trent, walk them
I
through
will
this.
walk you through the maze of this drink.
Oh yeah.
It's got a little bit.
want
Well, we
that
call it
pen
the
and paper.
Vegeta, as a as a
Super Saiyan God mode.
yeah, Super Saiyan God mode. Because I don't think we have a Super Saiyan God mode up here.
Yeah, I'll have to get one.
But I know Dwayne's a DBZ fan, so
Yeah.
I mix a
Yes.
drink. We put
Yeah. Sit down. This is gonna be a minute.
it's like rum. Tequila, vodka, gin,
Everclear.
a little bit of Everclear, a little bit of Aquavit,
Yes.
some Lucasau.
Lucasau
Yeah, a little bit of lime juice, and then topped off with some Sprite and Red Bull.
and Red Bull.
Yeah, and that's the drink. And it actually came out pretty good.
Yeah, it came out amazingly
Great
good.
ode
Yeah.
to Vegeta. A little
Yeah.
bit of everything.
Exactly.
A little bit of everything,
Yeah.
right? He's a complicated guy.
Very much so. Very
Right?
much so.
Right?
Yeah, it's a complicated drink, but it's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, here's
so,
the part
yeah.
where you listen to us drink.
I was laughing. I was like drinking that.
Where did that come from, man? We've been drinking the drink. We all like the drink, and then you cough, you choke.
Because the last time you said that, it was like you are amused by the sound of us sipping drinks and everybody hearing us sipping drinks, and it just made me laugh. As I was drinking, so yeah.
When I listen to the show, not watching the video, just listen to the show, I'm like, this is awkward.
Yeah.
I'm just listening to
It's like 3 or 4 seconds.
just a silence of dead air and slurping.
Exactly.
Thank goodness the camera's not on.
Yeah.
Like,
But,
what are those guys doing?
Despite
Random
the
business.
coughing, definitely delicious.
It
It's
is
good
very
drink.
good.
Yeah,
Very
we're
good.
not faking it. We're not faking it. Yeah, halfway through.
Halfway through. We're not even 10 minutes in.
Normally that's me.
Yeah. But
Yeah, got some great flavors. I think we were talking. Watch the clip. We mentioned it on the clip, but the blue curaçao's got a little bit of the sweetness.
Yeah.
Maybe between like the Everclear and the gin.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of the I don't want to say an alcohol flavor, but something to kind of mellow it. I
levels it out a
suppose.
little bit.
Yeah, it levels
so
it
not
out.
Too,
Very good way to
not
put
too
it.
sweet, not too one-sided. Yeah, so definitely a good drink. Zoe, I hope you're drinking this one. Hope you're listening. Hope you're doing well. I haven't heard from you in a little while, so yeah.
Yep.
But
I talked to her, or texting or whatever, back and forth.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to put her business out there, but she's good.
Good.
I think she's good. But yeah, we send messages back and forth every once in a while. So she's fantastic. Zoe, OG fan.
Still waiting for your
Appreciate
show.
you.
Can't wait to hear it when it comes out.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah,
Next
for
time
sure.
when you come out to Cali,
You're on the show.
You're on the
Better
show.
be here, yeah, for sure. And then real quick, I gotta throw out to Will.
oh yeah.
I know I mentioned it already on our Instagram, but Will's got his Meet the Author at Novel Memphis on June 14th at 6 p.m. If you're in Memphis, make sure you go check that out. And it's the day his book comes out too.
Ooh,
the brand
nice,
new
nice.
Retribution is released that same day.
Yeah. So even if you're near the area, get out there.
Right. And I'm putting the link on our Instagram. If you buy it online through Novel Memphis, you'll get a signed copy. He's signing a limited number
cool.
at that shop. So if you order it online from them, it'll be signed. So
Nice.
if you haven't won a copy from our game,
Yes.
there's only one more left too, by the way.
Oh man.
So you might as well just
We're still
go
doing it.
give up and go sign. Get a signed one, yeah.
But give up.
Well, I mean, the probability of you winning the last book, I don't know.
Somebody's got to win it.
Yeah, somebody. But I don't know.
Just give up.
Just give up. Just quit.
Quit.
But yeah, so that's a shout out to Drew. Thanks for coming on the show, man. He's back in Tennessee, but we miss him.
Yeah, good guy. Good guy.
Cool.
I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Greg Sorber and the fam.
Greg
I
Sorber.
saw him last weekend at Anime Riverside.
Saw that picture.
Yeah,
that looked awesome.
It was great. It was fantastic seeing them. I've known them for a while, obviously, and we've had Greg on the show. Fantastic author, the Mech Haven series.
Where's the
bookmark? It's over here somewhere. But it was fantastic seeing them.
Yeah.
It was very cool. Very cool. So love them all. Love you guys.
Yeah. Sorbers, you guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Let's get to the show then real quick, huh?
Do you want to give a shout out?
Shout out to my cousin Chase. I'm pretty sure you're gonna watch this. I'm definitely gonna tell you when it's time, and you will enjoy the Vegeta, my brother.
Oh, he's the Vegeta guy, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. Gotcha. For sure. Cool, man. Well, I mean, I know Duane as the guy who caused me pain every Monday for the last year and a half, maybe, give or take.
Nice.
Wow. Duane is my trainer. Every time I mention my trainer, this is the guy I've been talking about. Now you know what he looks like.
Yeah. It's real.
Yeah. So that's all I know, Duane. But I mean, you want to tell the audience about yourself a little bit?
I mean, like you said,
no, I don't.
Personal. I'm a personal trainer. Been a trainer for like the past 10 years. Also work as a manager at NutriShop. That's my daytime, in the early mornings doing training and stuff like that with clients. And then I'm also a dad, uncle, nephew, son, all the things. So yeah, and also a geek. So
yeah, there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So I guess that gets us right into the first thing I want to talk about is like what got you into geek culture from the start.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It was like the allure of that age where it was like kind of Toonami. When that kind of hit the States kind of hard and a lot of anime started to drop. I think the first anime I ever really got into was probably Ronin Warriors.
Ronin Warriors.
Back in the day.
I remember it well.
And then, from there, just kind of, you just felt the draw. Yeah. But it was never, it's different now with a lot of kids. Like, geek culture, anime, all that stuff's really cool.
Yeah.
But back in the day, it was like, you had to have the lights on at the house in the corner. Nobody thought it was cool.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But, over time, it just, my love for it continued to grow. And, became like a cult DBZ fan, Dragon Ball and DBZ fan. So that probably was the one I really finally took a hold of. And then from there, just kind of spiraling in different directions.
So you were really there when it kind of went from anime was something that you kind of did in the shadows when nobody was looking, or
100%.
It wasn't cool if you were into it so much. And I mean, now we've talked about on the show before. Now it's so crazy to see how mainstream it is.
It's a little different now.
It's a little different. It's a little different, and it's almost weird if you meet someone young and they're not into anime.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, that's the different thing.
You got to have something in your pocket of like what you're watching or what you're into now. Like, and if you don't, they kind of just look at you like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, which is cool. It's good to see the growth. Obviously I try to always support it if I can, I don't always have the most time to watch everything, but the things I do get into, I try to make sure that I'm really immersed as much as I can.
Yeah, people, man, kids these days, man, you guys don't get it. You don't get what it was like when I graduated in 08. You graduated probably
04.
04? Okay, yeah.
So even before.
So even before that, yeah. So I remember when I was in high school, I couldn't tell the football team that I watched anime.
No,
I could not. Yeah, I could not, and that would have been a problem.
Yeah, I was on the football team and I couldn't tell you.
Same. I mean, I was like fifth string running back, but I was on the team. I was on the team.
It was not cool at all. It was I think what actually was happening was there was a lot of guys that were like closet anime fans.
I was just about to ask you that, right?
Yeah. It was a lot of guys that really wanted to be a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our generation is a little different. We wanted to grow up so fast. Girls, cars, all the things that are statuses of you being an adult. But at the heart of us, all of us still wanted to hold on to that childhood as much as you could. Anime gave you that little bit of escape. I'm from Compton, California, so it's just a different world than what I lived in my experience.
Interesting.
I think that really resonates with a lot of people. If you really interviewed them now and they were being honest and more reflective, I think they would really tell you probably the same thing. Like, I really did like this. I just couldn't show my homies that I loved anime because they would just be like, dog, that's crazy. Like, you weak or you a geek or, they just talk about you and just bag on you. And nobody wants to be the butt of the joke, So,
and then funny, probably like to the side, you know what I mean? Like they'd be like, yeah, I'm into it too, man. Or you know what I mean? Yeah, they're not gonna. It's not like machismo culture necessarily, but it's kind of like that. You know, it's like maybe. I can't. Yeah,
a little bit maybe.
You can't admit to it or whatever.
I think maybe just again, not wanting to give in to that child, like fighting that one side of you wants to be grown, the other side of you is like, man, I really do enjoy this though, And I don't know. I feel like a lot of people do identify with it. When I talk to guys now that I knew from like high school,
right?
That's where it goes like, oh, bro, you actually were into this too. Or you would have literally bagged on me in my face.
yeah.
If I was like talking about this, you'd been like, dude, this dude is weird. But then you would have went home and been like, anime copy this. You know what I'm saying? Like they would have been reading it too, or they would have been watching on TV or whatever. So, definitely.
That's the interesting thing too. Like, and we've talked about this before. Like when you're watching or when you go to it, just went to an anime convention. It's you don't have to worry about that anymore. Like when you go to one of those places, it's everyone. We're all there for the same reason. We're not hiding anything. We're not. You know what I mean? It's just you're able to enjoy what you enjoy out in the open with a bunch of other people that enjoy the same thing. So you have that feeling of,
community.
Yeah, community, that kinsmanship kind of thing going on. So but it's a different world. Yeah. It's a different world.
Yeah.
How interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. You remember like being on the football team and having to like hide that and stuff? Or,
I mean like the conversation is not like, oh yeah, I watched Goku fight against Frieza this week. That was that saga took forever, right? Yeah. And it's like the arc of I think I was like a freshman in high school when it really started, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think like I remember I had one particular friend that I was cool with that we could talk about together. But then when we went to our like respective groups that we actually hung out with, I would never ever bring it up. Like it just like you had to kind of keep it like inside until you can get with that one person that you were like comfortable with.
Yeah.
Or you knew that they were feeling it too. And then every now and then like somebody would drop like a like a little line or something from a show and you kind of like, do they like this? But then they like maybe talk some trash about it.
Right. Yeah.
So you never really knew until maybe people started dropping more like character references or like a story or plot line or something. But I explicitly remember like I had a set group of friends that I hung out with on the team, and it just never was like a topic of conversation. And if it was like talking about somebody.
Oh yeah,
that is so. It really feels like you're in the closet. Kind of thing, man.
Exactly.
I mean, it's
kind of what I feel like I'm describing.
Yeah, no, I mean, for real. And I'm not trying to, 100% not trying to, you know what I mean?
Like make light of it. Or
exactly. Or, people that are really going, exactly.
Yeah,
that's
it.
There are people that are really going through that thing about not being able to come out and be, who they are or whatever. And this is just like a thing that you're into kind of thing. It's not like who you are.
Identity,
exactly. Thank you. Yeah, it's not an identity. This is just something that, that's fun that you are into. So like again, not trying to piggyback on that, but
by the same token though, I think it's a similar situation.
It's very similar.
To define yourself by this,
right?
By this culture, by this world. Yeah, that's an important part of us, I think, in general. True. So I don't think we'd be the same people without this stuff. But I remember I had to like put in like in my binder. I had like a football thing in the front of the binder, and then but behind that, I had like an Inuyasha picture, so I'd switch them out depending on what class I was in, because I was taking like mostly all the with the classes with all the football players for the first couple of years, and then I started doing the media classes, so I'd do half and half, right? And so when I got to those classes, I can put my Inuyasha one in the front,
wow,
and then it'd be accepted. My Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, when I was coming out, like I was all about that. So depending on what class I was in. And if I forgot to switch it, then I
Do you ever feel like you had to explain yourself to anybody?
It was just like, hey, I'm Asian, man. That's just what we do.
Oh yeah,
And then it was like, yeah, Tucker, man. Yeah, you're Asians, yeah. Yeah.
See, at least you had an out.
I know. Yeah, exactly. I know. Like, my mom's from Japan. This is what we watched. You know.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but
like, oh man, they make me watch it. I'm
yeah,
not into
I'm not into this. Yeah, I'm not into that. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. So.
Wow, that's a trip.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember like when I was growing up, because I'm a little bit older than you guys, a smidge, and yeah, I guess it's the same thing. I think I was very fortunate. I went to a very small high school, and I had my clique of friends, and we were all into it at different levels, I suppose, but. Yeah, I mean, every day I would go with my clique of friends, and it wasn't what I mean. I was always like that that geek kid anyway, kind of thing. I think I got along well enough with everyone else, that kind of thing.
True.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that I was able to.
Good.
Nothing about here.
Lisa was the regular one.
You still got the Super Saiyan to deal with.
Leveled up,
You got the Super Saiyan to deal with. You ain't going nowhere. But yeah, we still had the.
We're clipping that for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't. Like I said, I didn't talk about it amongst the regular classmates kind of thing, but. I kind of went into my own little, clubhouse with my friends kind of thing. I was really, I guess, pretty fortunate in that regard.
Yeah.
That I had a place where I could, go hang out during school hours with my friends. We would watch anime. We would watch Akira and all that kind of stuff. We'd, play games, just hang out, talk, do whatever. Just do what we want to do.
Yeah. Nice.
But I will say, I think Akira was like one of the big crossover ones, because I remember talking with someone like, probably like maybe not quite 10 years later, maybe like a good 5-6 years later, talking with someone that seemed like they would not be into anime at all.
Right.
And all of a sudden, we're in a video, this is that's when they had video stores. They were talking about Akira. Yeah. And I'm like, this guy knows about Akira?
Yeah.
I'm like, I would never have pegged that.
I think that's the cool thing is like at the same time, especially just coming where I come from, like big on gang culture, like everybody wants to be cool, everybody wants to be grown, everybody wants to be that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do think that the cool thing about like anime, geek culture, video game, like whatever you're into, you know what I mean? Yeah. It just has a appeal to so many people that you wouldn't even think that it would. You know what I mean? It'd be like the biggest, swollest guy on the team, and just the toughest dude on the field, and then literally he's going home to like watch exactly what you're talking about, Inuyasha or something like that. Too, and it's just, I don't know, that I think that's always like a cool appeal of, like you said, kind of geek culture.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, Joey Mejia from high school. If you're out there somewhere, man, he's stud on the football field, man. Linebacker, star guy.
Yeah.
Biggest Star Wars fan in the world, man.
There you go.
Right. Come to my sleepovers, and we'd have like play Star Wars all night at the games and stuff. We had the big LAN parties and stuff, and he was always there, man. So that's cool. So it's kind of a similar thing,
Yeah.
But
super dope.
Anyway, yeah. So then since we're all aware of how big geek culture's become, it's kind of become mainstream pop culture essentially.
Right.
Do you think that's not, like, you think it's all good, or do you think there's like, what are the good parts? What are the bad parts you think about it? I guess.
I mean, every culture has strengths and weaknesses. You know what I mean? I think kind of like I was saying, I think some people get into certain parts of geek culture that they really are not technically into. They just want to feel like they're fitting in just to fit in, I guess, in that way, versus what actually appeals to you. So like I'm big on like I need to feel like something appeals to me in a way, right? So for instance, I've always like Dragon Ball Z. Super is a little bit different for me. Like the appeal is more so nostalgia than it is the actual storyline now. I felt like in Z it was actually like some moral, ethical things going on,
right?
Versus now Super, I'm still a fan. Not saying I'm not a fan. But I don't enjoy it as much just because like I don't feel like it speaks to me like it used to, I guess, in that way, right? And I feel like people sometimes make themselves like something that's not really them anymore, if that makes sense.
I see,
And I think that's toxic in any culture where you feel like you have to do this thing just because that's what the culture says. Like you have to accept or like this particular
because
brand
it's popular is the big thing.
This is the new thing. You know, you guys, last episode that I watched before the last one was about X-Men 97.
Oh yeah.
And while of course I disagree, me and Mark are on the same side. I'm not mad that you guys dissented because I'm like,
I am.
You know,
am.
I'm not trying to force you to like something that doesn't appeal to you in that way.
Yeah, there you go.
That's not my thing.
That's way nicer than the way you're saying it.
Man, you should have heard how I talked about these guys. You guys are idiots. You guys are dumb. Can't stand you.
You guys have to think between your ears. It's
got a brain.
I think of what you're saying right now.
He edited that out.
Yeah, I cut that right out. Yeah, we
gotta
keep it cordial,
right.
you know.
There was a part where I started crying. Yeah, it was bad. It was a mess. It was a mess.
I'm wondering, did any of this have anything?
Yeah. Depending on what we drink, man, ends up contributing to it.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
But no, I actually, that is a solid point, 100% solid point. I think we both, when we do discuss things and on the occasion that we don't agree,
once or twice.
It's happened once or twice. I think we try to remain respectful to each other. You know,
especially the longer that we've been doing it too. I know this first couple of months.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree though, 100%.
Yeah. We shouldn't have to. He shouldn't have to force me to like a certain thing, you know, and he can have his reasons and justifications that all make sense, but may not click with me for whatever reason, and vice versa. You know what I mean? So I'm with you 110% on that. You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to, you know, fake liking what you don't like, and you shouldn't be penalized or discriminated against or just because you're not into it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, which is 100% okay.
Yeah.
Unless it's X-Men 97.
Exception to every rule, right? There you go. Right. Yeah.
I'm not above taking cheap shots.
That's a good point. But I don't know, man. I think there is, definitely what you guys are saying. I'm blanking on what you guys are saying. I was blocking you guys out because I was getting a lot of flack. So you're right. No, but I think when it comes with the commercialization of what we enjoy, I think I was watching a YouTube video, Critical Drinker, today, and he was talking about how. He did a great analogy, man. He's talking about, because they're obviously the Acolyte's the big thing right now. And there's a lot of contention going on in the Star Wars world, I think, among the fan base versus the people that are in charge. Yeah. And there's good reasons for it and bad reasons for it. You know, there's toxic people, but there's also people that are justified in what they're saying.
Yeah.
And Critical Drinker said, he said basically, he was like, Star Wars right now feels like if you and your friends have been playing Dungeons and Dragons, right? And you just want to show up and play Dungeons and Dragons, and this is what you guys love about it. Yeah. And then you invite somebody else into it that says, you know, well, this is like with their own agenda of it. Like you have to like this version of Dungeons and Dragons because of X, Y, and Z, because of diversity, because of, you know, whatever, the DEI implementation. You got to like it because of that. And then it's like, oh, well, I don't like that. I just want to play Dungeons and Dragons. That's all I want to do. I don't want to deal with the extra stuff. And I feel like that's kind of a thing that's coming into a lot of the fandoms, like with the MCU stuff, when Disney bought Marvel and Star Wars. I think with when they, like, we talked at this conversation a long time ago about when they knew there was money that can be made in there. Yeah, it was like infused with a lot of money, but it changed the product that we had. You know, so I think it's great that we can be out in the open with our T-shirts, our Superman T-shirts, and our, you know, whatever, and our anime T-shirts. But at the same time, it's like it comes with the cost, I think, also. I don't know, in my opinion.
That's true.
Yeah, so I've been watching a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like becoming more and more impaired. It's harder to be a fan sometimes now. It's kind of it's almost like it's reverting back to being hard to be a fan, but for different reasons. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Do you think because it's a lot of that stuff is more mainstream? I mean, Star Wars is always, well, I shouldn't say always, but for a long time it's been more mainstream.
Yeah,
it's been kind of mainstream.
Yeah.
Right. So do you think because it's so open to everyone, like that's the reason why it's like people are, you know?
Yeah.
they feel like they can jump in there and kind of put in their own agenda or do whatever they want, or
to kind of
or maybe just like the wrong people have got their hands on it.
It's all of that. I think it's changing what was great about it. I think and what people love about it, like the core thing that people love about these things. It gets affected, I think, by money or I'm not like a punk rock commercialized, bring out the commercial thing. But I think I don't know. I think it's like that's I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
it seems like maybe they feel like they have to push an agenda, so to speak, because it is so broad in its reach. Like it feels like anyway that they. Like that's their end to make it PC, or to make it, it feels like extra PC at this point,
Yes, and I mean, it's not even just that, it's the quality of the writing, it's the quality of the stories that we're getting. Like what got me into anime or got me into comic books was the quality of the storytelling, Like when I realized that these stories could be told in this medium, with this vehicle, And then now the stories are not like they used to be. And is it changed because of the ownership? Is it changed because of, so now that it's like, it's popular, it's big, I feel like it's lost some of the magic.
I think that's the biggest thing for me I think we always could kind of, in our minds speculate what's really going on behind the scenes, but you don't really know. Right. But what I would say is the quality just seems diminished. And a lot of different forms of things that I've seen, it just seems a little diluted, I guess. From like when you were saying like the essence of what made me draw to this, to now what it is and what I see, I'm just like the writing's different. The like some of the plots are kind of like this doesn't really, it just I don't know. It just doesn't have that like it used to have. And maybe just because also kind of being around it for a long time, maybe they're kind of losing sight of where they're going. Kind of their whatever. But
see, I wonder though if would this have happened like so would Star Wars have become not as good, or that's a bad example, like Marvel, right? Okay. So with Marvel becoming as popular as it was at this point, or maybe 5 years ago, would the quality have diminished if Disney never bought them, kind of thing? Like if that popularity, if it didn't blow up like it did, would it have still remained, a specific niche with good quality, or would it have been fizzled out? Because I know there's a time in the 90s or the 80s where comics weren't great, right?
Probably in the maybe in the 90s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Because I know they were like in the 80s, I think they were kind of there. They're definitely niche. They were kind of, they were off the grid. They were off the radar. That's for sure. Yeah. I think in the 90s, that's when you kind of, the artist, I don't want to say they started running things a little bit more, but the artist had more input. That's, when the Jim Lee, McFarlane, Liefeld, all those guys kind of broke away and started their own comic book company. Yeah. So, I mean, that was all basically in the early-ish 90s, I would say.
So I was wondering if it's coinciding with the popularity, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, is the quality diminishing because of the popularity? Or,
I think at the same time, too, like, when things tend to peak, it's only one way it could go as well, too.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, you can't stay at your peak forever, right? So, at some point, it is going to diminish. I just think more so, it seems sometimes like the vision is not quality for different, like, DC. We always talk about, like, DC.
All the time.
Like, even with Marvel, like, it just seems like the vision is just kind of off right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's more my perspective is, like, I could speculate on all those things. I heard you talking about like DEI and all that stuff. I don't know. It possibly could be with Disney buying up everything. It makes sense. But at the same time, I just think quality wise, if you put out a good product, people will like it.
Yeah.
And no matter what your agenda is, if it's quality, people will support it.
Yeah.
And they'll watch it. But the fact that people are having dissension, people are like, oh, this is kind of trash. I think it just speaks to what's happening. Is like, it's just not giving us good stuff.
Yeah.
Which that's why I did feel like the X-Men 97 was like, yo, this is probably the first quality thing you've put out in
years.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And it did feel a little rushed because it was a 10-episode block. Right. I will say they rushed through a lot of the storylines.
Yeah, we all agree on that.
I think we all agree on that. I agree. But at the same time, it was like, at least this had some substance to it. You know what I mean? Like quality of characters, writing,
the dialogue,
the visuals, even like the little nuanced things like culture and different like issues that are going on in like today's society. Because X-Men has always stood for that for me.
Yeah,
same here.
So I feel like they did a good job of doing that without having to overspeak it as well too. But like that was the first one in since what, in game?
Probably. Yeah.
5 years, right?
5 years. Yeah. So,
Yeah. I mean, there have been some things that have been pretty good. I mean, and again, we were talking earlier about Star Wars Visions, right? You know, we had the statue we were talking about. Yeah, like that Star Wars Vision series was really great, but it was done like by people outside of Disney. They were like, hey, you want to come and create something for us? Come over, you know. So that's why it had like that crazy anime aspect to it.
Oh yeah,
all these different, you know, writers and from an outside group came in and did their own thing, and that has been some of the best stuff. There's been some hit and misses.
Yeah.
In these later 5 years, I feel like there's probably been more misses than hits. You know, there have been some. And there have been moments in some of the misses that have been pretty good. You know, we're talking about Moon Knight. There were some really cool moments in Moon Knight. There have probably been some really good moments in a lot of the stuff. But yeah, it's buried in the stuff that's annoying. That's really an agenda. Yeah, what is this really here for?
What are we really doing here? Yeah.
I was thinking too. You know, talking about getting back to the whole popularity thing and whatnot. I always thought, like, as, you know, thinking about a musician, for example, right? Like a musician, like you want to be as big as you can, so to speak. You know what I mean? You want people to hear your music, what you're putting out. You know, I think of two things really. Like I think of hip hop. Hip hop was originally like this underground thing, right? And that's what it was always about. But I also think about punk music, right? Yeah. Because punk music is basically, it's not the same thing, but it's an underground thing, right?
It's like, like a Jason, like they're
they're different things, but they're in their own, you know, they're kind of in the same place in their own lane, right? So I think about the one that comes to me the most, I think about Green Day, right? Green Day was at first, they were this punk band, underground, the very definition, the very, you know, understanding of what a punk band is supposed to be is underground. And so once Green Day crossed over and became more popular and more people started watching them, was that a bad thing? Like I still love Green Day, but I think there are a lot of purists, you know, that are into punk music that kind of say they sold out, that don't like them as much as they used to. I know Taylor Swift was originally country music. I think there are some people into country music that I don't want to say they don't necessarily like her, but they don't like her anymore because she quote unquote sold out. She went pop. She went big, you know, so it's
this you know, in hip hop the past few months, Kendrick Lamar and Drake kind of went at it. That was like the kind of same thing with Drake. Like Drake's initial push was like, I'm a Jewish kid that's also black and I'm cool with this. And his original like format was like, I'm a original like backpacker hip hop underground type guy. Like mixtapes, he was fire, lyrical content, just with the culture. And then as Drake is slowly like continued to climb the charts and raise up, it's kind of the same thing. Like what Kendrick Lamar was challenging him on is like, well, who's really you? Like which one are you really with the culture or are you really just the pop king? Like, but you need to pick one and stay to that side, whichever side you're going to be. And I think it just speaks to, I think people just authenticity, you know what I mean? Like, just be your genuine self. Like, I think that's what's cool about geek culture now. That's like the positive side of geek culture. Like, I think the reason why I resonate with this show is because I feel like this is really who you guys are. Like, when we talk in our sessions, you know, we could talk moral, we could talk fun, you know, it goes either way. But honestly, at the heart of it, like, we both enjoy, like, those conversations, too. So,
That's...
Wow, nice.
Good answer.
You brought it back around, too.
Good answer.
Nice.
Great answer. Positive, cynical, kind of middle, back to positive. How the show always works.
Brought it right back to geek culture. Right? Because you're like in a music tangent. That is, you can be a geek about music, though. I agree. Yeah, man, Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
That was
that is something. That's crazy right now. Kendrick is killing them.
You definitely went in on him. I'm not gonna lie. I was proud of that though, for sure.
Yeah. It's probably A minor. I'm like, oh my god. All right, that's a whole different thing. Whole different shit.
Don't copyright this.
Don't get this copyright strike.
Have you heard? I know you're not into like hip hop music. Have you heard any of that? Or you've heard about it? Or
no, I do know about it. I know a little bit about it. I don't know anything about I'm not really into the rap culture. I don't really know much. I know who they both are too. But I mean, I couldn't tell you a Drake song.
Yeah.
I know a couple of Kendrick songs because of RJ's a big fan of Kendrick.
Yeah.
But I don't know much about them. But I understand the dynamic, and I've heard about it. And my circle is like 2 steps removed from that. You know what I mean? So
And the weird thing is, I'm not into like a whole lot of hip hop today. Like the hip hop I grew up with was it was like 80s, 90s hip hop. You know, arguably the best time. Whatever. We'll let that go. But man, Kendrick is like slaughtering.
I think it does mirror this conversation though, for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I think Kendrick is literally a purist.
Yes.
Right? Like lyrical content, cultural references.
A gatekeeper of hip hop?
A little bit in a way, a historian in a way, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you have, like what I was saying was I feel like people are more like Drake, where it's like, I want to taste a sample of a little bit of everything. So Drake does, he did like Caribbean features. He did some features in the South in Houston. He did some stuff on the East Coast with the Backpackers. He's done some pop type records. He's done some UK type records, right? You taste a little bit of everything, but what's really your identity, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So in my perspective, I'm like, I'd rather get the original you. Because to me, I feel like somebody's going to identify with the original and authentic Drake.
Right.
He's a great artist. He's clearly very skilled.
Right.
But at the same time, like, I understand he also has the ability to cross over these different platforms.
Yeah.
But does that make it like, is that what you should do? So even when we're talking like geek culture, sometimes I feel like I don't force myself into like stuff that just doesn't appeal to me. You know what I mean? We were kind of talking about One Piece earlier, and I'm like, I'm not gonna force it because I don't have time to watch 1,100 episodes right? But hopefully one day I will be able to get into it. I usually stick to stuff that honestly just sparks my interest, and I'm like, actually, I kind of want to get into that, and then I'll watch it, and hopefully it appeals, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, dang man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, I'm about to go down that whole Kendrick and
we don't have to touch that no more. I was like, let me bring it back this way, but yeah, that's why I thought it was
super interesting.
Stuff,
Yeah, man. Yeah,
yeah. I wonder if there is some sort of I don't know, like once you do crossover, I suppose, and become, and I'm talking about anime, I suppose, or geek culture now. Once you do become, you cross over and you become popular, you become broad reaching. I don't want to say the quality goes down, but maybe it does. Maybe because you're trying to, maximize your profits. You're trying to, you're trying to broaden your reach. You can't necessarily focus so much on how you did things before. Now you got all these different hoops to jump in. Like, when it comes to like Disney and China, for example.
Oh yeah.
Like Disney they'll flip things around, change things around so they can cater to the money that comes with the Chinese market.
Yeah.
With the that first of the new Star Wars movie, Force Awakens? Yeah, right. Like Finn is on the cover.
Yeah.
Like Finn is like right there, larger than life. He's like one of the main ones. He's holding a lightsaber. So you got like this dark picture, this dark space picture, right? And you've got, there's like maybe three people holding a lightsaber, different colors. Finn is one of them.
Yeah.
When you see the poster that they made for China,
he's like this little
guy stuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So once the more, it's really disappointing.
That bothers me so much about that. I was like, oh, we're all about representation, except
when our money is
except when it comes to China.
Money's involved.
Yeah,
when it's involved.
Yeah, that's pretty damn shitty, man. Yeah.
And I always thought too, like as we as the show starts to grow more and all that kind of stuff, like I've always wanted to make it a point that we try to stick to what we've always done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If this is what's made the show grow and expand and finally reach who it's reaching, they're watching it for a reason. They're listening for a reason. Yeah. So I don't want to hey, they got the big contract, so now they're changing things up and they're doing things different. I feel like I want to stick with what got us here in the first place, kind of thing. So being popular. And that was my whole point with the whole, Green Day and hip hop and all that kind of stuff. Like once you start to become more popular, it almost feels like you have to, or you're forced to kind of change what you're doing and how you're doing it so you can have that broad reach. True. So maybe it's a catch-22 kind of thing, like if something is really good, it just becomes so popular that it destroys itself. A little bit kind of thing, a little bit.
I think in all cultures, even hip hop in particular, but anime, I think American culture in that way, like once things become so grand and far reaching, you also feel like maybe inside the culture people feel like they have to appeal to others or something like that instead of just being who they genuinely are. Right. But I tend to think that most pure cultures, the appeal of them is just their pure nature of what brought people in the first place. And that does mean that some people are going to be attracted and some people are going to be repelled, right? Instantly, you already know there's a line that's going to be drawn somewhere. When things hit that threshold of like now it's super popular, I think what happens is those lines just get blurred.
Yeah, they do.
If that makes sense. Like we kind of want to bring in everybody, and usually it is still centered around money. But I think also part of it is just reach and popularity. Everybody wants to make $1, and I get that too. So
and everybody wants to. They want to be as big as they can, kind of thing. And there's no way to do that if you're staying in your lane, I suppose. So yeah, man, it's like I said, it's a catch-22 kind of thing. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
True. Yeah. I wonder this day if we didn't come out swinging, or I didn't come out swinging in 2020. About how much I hated Marvel's movies. I wonder what things would have been different if I would have come out oh yeah, Marvel's the best, this and that. Geez. And we would have been the biggest podcast ever now.
Yeah. I would have hated that. No, man. Don't. I'm gonna say something nice about Trent, everybody. Don't change who you are, man.
We're gonna screen record this because this is one of two times.
If you have something you need to do right now, go do it.
I'm a witness.
Go walk away. Go walk away. Dwayne, if you can cover your ears for me. Earmuffs, everybody. Yeah, don't change who you are, man. Don't even feel bad about that because it would be a whole different show. It would be a piece of sellout garbage that everybody that's already out there, and I would not like that. So don't change, be yourself. You don't like some of the dumb stuff. The people that like dissent and follow their own path, those are the guys that kind of change the world. Those are the guys that get noticed. So keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate it, Mark. That's why the show's going to be...
And we're back. You're wrong about everything you do. Earmuffs off, everybody.
Unmute your headphones.
We're good. This guy don't know nothing.
No words.
Don't know nothing.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I guess we're on topic, man. I know we're going to go in this direction, but... So I know you're in your own business, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So... respect, man. That's a huge thing. I know we always have this conversation all the time at the gym about following your dreams and stuff and doing what you want to do, man. Right. But like, how do you how do you find the motivation to keep pushing towards what your goals are? Yeah. And like, I guess where do you want to go? Like, what's your big time thing? As much as you can talk. I guess.
I think for me, again, just getting back to that authenticity. Like, you just got to be who you are. I think in our generation, like jobs. Everyone feels like, you want a good job, you want that security, you want that stability. Sure. I understand you got to pay bills. Things are super expensive, inflation, all that crazy stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So you do have to take care of that. I'm not going to poo-poo that point. But at the same time, like, I think jobs sometimes can lure you into this false sense of, like, losing your own identity of who you really are,
Yeah,
and I agree. At the heart of me, I feel like the best times of my life and the things that I've enjoyed the most been when I'm, like, in the gym, working out with my guys. I played sports pretty much all my life. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to lose that side of who I am. Also, too, like a lot of my family struggle with health for my whole life. Yeah. And I just don't want to see myself as that guy. You know what I mean? I want to be able to be 7 years old, out with my grandkids, doing my thing, still pretty spry, as independent as I can be. I know life's going to change at some point in time. And also, too, if I can gift that to other people, because a lot of people want that. They just don't know how to go about it, right?
Yeah, for real.
So with that being said, that always led to my dream and passion of being a trainer, opening my own facility, having clients, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, last year was like my biggest year financially, which was awesome.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
But also my biggest year of paying taxes as well, too.
They
But,
always get you.
It is what it is. And I just feel like it's the price that you pay for pursuing those types of passions.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not necessarily mad at that. It just, it does come at somewhat of a cost. And I do wonder, like, how long am I going to be able to keep it going?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just keep trying to push and every day, you know, grow and expand. And you never know, opportunities like this even, you know, you never know who you're appealing to no matter what you're doing. Right?
Yeah.
If you're really doing it genuinely and from your passion.
Right, for good
you might
reasons.
reach some people randomly that you didn't know you were ever going to reach. So,
True that.
Yeah, being true and being honest, I think I feel like that's a big thing. It's got to be a big thing. It's got to be something that people will resonate with, that they'll see, that they'll feel, that they'll appreciate.
Yeah.
That's very cool, man.
Yeah.
You're doing it for like very good reasons. You know, you want to break the cycle.
all those things.
And give that to other people. That to other people, because I feel like that is the biggest thing with so many people. They want to do better, and we were talking briefly about this. It's like that first step.
Yeah,
you know, you don't know how or where to start. You know, you want to start. You know, you should start, but you just don't know how to do it. So you kind of hesitate. You pause, and you end up not doing anything.
Exactly.
And then 10 years go by, and you're like, I know I should have been doing better. I know I need to do A, B, C, and D, but I haven't done it. Why not? Yeah. Then it's like another 10 years go by kind of thing. So
yeah. So what you mean to say is, thank you, Trent, for starting this podcast with me, because I would be doing nothing with my life.
So I want to say, I want to make this promise. Duane and I were talking. I don't know what you're talking about. This guy clearly drinking too much. But
I am out. So,
you're the first one to
cut
finish.
the tension with a knife, guys.
I'm doing the old the Marvel trick there. Yeah. But no, but
Throwing the yucks.
but real talk though, man. I just throwing out that. I think you are your best self when you're doing what you love or what you're motivated to do. You know,
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, and
you're miserable, or I shouldn't say miserable, but not happy.
Yeah.
When you're not. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Finish.
No, I mean that's basically it. I think especially with doing this show with you, man. Like this is we've been doing this for a long time now at this point, and we were both at weird places when we started this show. I think, and I was for sure.
Yeah,
But,
definitely. Yeah, I agree.
I think this has changed a lot about who I am doing this show and pursuing this show. With the goal to grow it, So it's a big deal, man. To have something to strive towards.
Right.
Yeah.
Something that you truly, that you want to strive for. You know what I mean? That you're not striving for somebody else.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
it's
doing
like
it for you.
something want.
Thank you.
And that's probably why I'm here today, because I actually really do enjoy watching episodes, watching clips. I like stuff. I'm trying to comment where I can. I try to support as much as I can. I don't have a ton of time, but I just do what I can when I can.
No, we appreciate you, man.
We do have some good conversations.
Yeah.
Mark, hoping you can be a part of that as well, too.
Yeah. Hey. Listen, this is my promise. This is right now,
here we
because
go.
I went.
Let's get down to it.
This is on record.
On record.
Yeah, it's a legally binding thing, I think.
Suckers. I went to a session once, like a month, 2 months ago.
It's been a couple months.
It's been a while. With
good session too, actually.
It was a great session. I felt it, but I wasn't like ruined for the rest of the day kind of thing.
I was gonna ask you, how'd you
Yeah,
recover
it was good.
Yeah.
And and you feel good about yourself when you've done it, right? So but excuses. That was, I started doing other things, blah blah blah. On this coming Friday,
Is it this?
Yes, I'm telling everybody, damn it, this Friday, because I got to work this Saturday. But this Friday, I am going to be there working out, training with Duane. That's what's happening. That is my word. I'm putting it out there. So
let's go on our next
Geek
Geek
Off
Off The
The
Street shirt.
Right.
Train with Duane.
So there's no excuse. I will be there on Friday. That is
Nice.
nice. Unless something happens.
No,
I will be.
Caveat.
Hey, hang on.
I'll be there unless something.
I want to say unless something happens. Unless I buy a cake and I want to eat it. Yeah.
Is there a range of something happens?
Yeah, unless this happens, this happens.
Yeah, unless I.
No, I will be off. I do have some graduations coming up, but they're in the middle of the week. So Friday.
So it's time.
Should be. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it needs to be, because at that point in time, I know I was saying like, oh, I got the stuff going on. I'm trying to eat better.
Yeah.
I had a competition at work. I destroyed everybody. I'm not here to talk about that. Anybody at work listening, I beat you. But it was one of those things where I realized like, I need to, it's like one of those old trains from back in the day, like an old West train where it's just the wheels are turning and it's trying, and then it's got to go. The wheels spun for a little bit and it moved a little bit, and you're like, here we go. Then like everybody, the train's coming to a stop. It's like, jeez, so I want to get that train rolling again. So
sure, man.
All right.
I'll be there on Friday.
First witness.
And all of you are a witness too. So
There we go.
I want that. I want that accountability. I want that.
For sure. There's one question I gotta ask you that we cannot leave the show without me asking.
Okay, for sure.
We can tie it into fitness a little bit, but like, is there a character in any anime, geek culture, whatever, that has a realistic fitness plan / physique?
Of
Like
all the
anime you've
consumed.
I was randomly is One Punch Man's workout is that Bible or whatever?
Have you seen One Punch Man?
I've seen One Punch Man. Probably my younger cousin Aramis. He loves One Punch Man. He actually got me into One Punch Man. So to me, that is a practical and realistic routine.
So listen, if you want superpowers,
the issue is the gains he had are so OP. It's like, I respect it because that was the gimmick at first. Like the first season, I was just like, this is super gimmicky, but it's catchy.
It's hilarious, and he delivers it so straight faced.
Exactly, and he's just like
100 push-ups,
right,
100 sit-ups,
yes, a mile run. I'm like, what? And you now are destroying people into the galaxy? Like, that's crazy. But it is a realistic routine. If you watch DBZ, I feel like that's more the principle that I train by.
And that's what I like about DBZ.
The Saiyans train hard,
yeah,
but they sleep hard, they eat well, right? Obviously, having kids, they're very virile, very feral in that way. I think that's more of a realistic approach.
Yeah.
Again, the scale is crazy. You're not flying through the sky. We're humans. I get it. I'm not saying that. But like when you see Goku and Gohan come out of the hyperbolic time chamber and then they're eating up all this food after they just trained for a whole year of doing crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the principle I always tell you guys. I don't train hard and eat salad. That's not my thing. It's train hard, eat hard, play hard, rest hard. Like everything you do, do it well, if that makes sense. So,
100%.
I think those are always very realistic.
Yeah.
I did want to make one point. I've been watching, I got into Baki lately.
Baki, okay, that's what it was. Okay, it's Baki. Yeah.
Baki's the one I got into, and it's one particular training style that I want to focus on for him. He does a lot of visualization.
I was just about to say the visuals.
The visuals, yeah.
Let's go.
The funny thing is, if you think of the greatest athletes ever, that's what they like. LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, the greats of all time have all seen things before they happen. They can visualize this is what I'm gonna do in this moment. I'm gonna be in this space. They're gonna pass me the ball right here. I'm gonna turn and do this. And Baki is kind of mimicking that in the anime. And it kind of is kind of
Baki, yeah.
Kind of funky if people don't really, if they've never played competitive sports or anything like that, or never been in martial arts or anything. But you do that when you're competing, is you want to see yourself in those moments. And I think it's that's crazy how anime is like that. It's like a kid's show, but it's also like such deeper jewels.
Right, and they're there. You gotta be able to like spot them. Sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah. And sometimes they're not, but sometimes they are, and you need to be able to spot it when they are.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's real good.
That's
a great
fantastic.
answer.
Yeah,
That's a great answer.
Yeah,
sure.
man. I was reading like the manga of Baki. Yeah, Baki is. Yeah, that was on my. At one point in time, that was one of my like. I'm dropping what I'm doing and I'm waiting for the next chapter of Baki to come out. I'm getting pissed when I look online and it's not. I was like reading it like illegally kind of thing. Shut up. Shut up. So yeah, that Baki and Ippo. There's a boxing one. It's called Ippo. IPPO.
Yeah.
That was a great one too. I think there's an anime of it too, but the manga is great, and he's a boxer and he works hard, trains hard. And he doesn't win every fight, which makes it that much better. Yeah, it makes it that much better. True. And it sucks when he doesn't win, because we're there with him kind of thing. You know what I mean? With his training, with his, everything he's doing in life. And we feel it, like we lost with him when he doesn't win kind of thing. But same thing though. So Baki and Ippo, those are great animes with some great I love the working out thing, and I love that about Dragon Ball Z, that these guys, and I'm trying to think I don't know of any anime that has done that before, and I'm really trying to think of how there's probably some that might do it after DBZ came out, but not to the extent that they do. Yeah, like Vegeta, like when Goku, when they came back from Namek and Goku was a Super Saiyan and he wasn't. He was like in that that ship, pod, just 300 times gravity, crazy working out like a beast, just killing himself trying to be better, trying to be stronger. So that's a fantastic thing about Dragon Ball Z. In my opinion, about Dragon Ball Z. One
of my favorite parts for sure.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I love that. This is like different now. Where I'm going into a different tangent. About like Goku being a father. Like I don't think I'd seen any animes before that. I don't know how many after that where the main character is married, has a wife and has a child. Yeah. They're always like these single, rogue badasses that need to do whatever they need to do. But this guy's got a family, and he loves his family.
More vigilante style is usually how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, most of them are more vigilante. They're all single. But this guy, like, unrepentantly, he's glad he's got a wife. He's glad he's got, a son, 2 sons. And like
a source of inspiration and power for him.
Right, for him. Right? He works for them. So there's not that many fathers that are heroes in anime and comic books. Good point. Yeah, so another reason why I love DBZ. Trent hates it, but I love it.
I don't hate it.
No, don't try to backpedal. Trent hates fathers.
I picked it up again. I'm watching. They're training for the fight with Vegeta and Nappa right now.
You watching it from the beginning?
I'm still watching. I started watching it again. Like I watched probably 4 or 5 episodes last week. So
to me, those are like the more pure episodes.
Those are the better ones, in my opinion. Yeah,
the original, like probably up until the Frieza saga, felt like it was just very like pure.
I feel like I said that to you like a couple weeks, or maybe like a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
We were talking about Akira Toriyama. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I swear I want to say I said it off the air. Like if I was to make like a DBZ movie,
it would be.
I would probably take it up to the Frieza saga. Yeah. Because I feel like those were like the best. There are good stories up to that point. Not that everything else is bad after that, but I feel like that would be a great.
Like you're making 3 movies.
If I'm making 3 movies, I would go Raditz. Dragon Ball. The first season of Dragon Ball Z, which was like you said, Raditz. Yeah. Vegeta showing up, and then when they go to Namek. Yeah. You know what I mean? I would end it there. You could do the Cell Saga. That would be good too. Talking about the whole. You'd have like him dealing with the Red Ribbon Army in the DBZ, and then have the 4th movie. Yeah, would be him dealing with the Red Ribbon Army again. That'd be a great bookend. Bring it around.
So with DBZ on the mind, now I do have a question. Do you really think Cell was a true villain?
Ooh, interesting.
And this is why I say what I say, because cells derive from, the cells of, the Saiyans, the Namekians, and like a little bit of Frieza in there.
Yeah.
They got like a little bit of a mutt kind of going on, right?
Yeah.
But really, he's just, again, kind of being true to himself. He wants to compete at the highest level. He wants to see his perfect form, right? He wants to fight like the biggest fights against like whoever. It doesn't matter. He didn't really. I mean, he did some stuff. Obviously, he killed some people. A lot of people. A whole lot of
Drained a lot of people.
Drained a lot of people. There's that part.
That.
So, in that sense, villain. I get it.
Yeah.
But really, his everything was a means to an end, if that makes sense. Like, he just wanted to achieve this perfection. And then once he got to be perfect, it wasn't even like, I want to destroy the world, because he could have just did that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was more like,
I'll
wait for Goku.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
wait for, Vegeta or whatever
Interesting.
is going to be the guy.
Yeah. I remember when I watched it as a kid, I remember thinking that he truly would have left if he lost. Like, in my mind. I was a kid, though.
Yeah.
But he did say, like, if you knock me out of the ring, I lose. You
That's
win.
it. We're done.
And nothing's going to happen.
Interesting. You think he would have left?
Kind of
Yeah.
would agree.
I feel like when
kinda
I was
would
a
agree.
kid, I thought that. I was like, oh, maybe
Sure,
he
sure.
actually would have left. But I don't know. But yeah, I think he's less of a bad guy than the other bad guys.
I would say so.
Interesting.
I think, yeah. That we've seen in the DBZ. I think, yeah.
No, those are solid points. I feel like he would not have left. I feel like the whole thing was just a ruse or a gambit to draw
Pull somebody
them in
in.
so
Yeah.
he could fight.
Now I wanna
he
fight.
definitely
Yeah.
had like that Saiyan thing going on where he wanted to fight, he wanted to compete. But I also think he wanted to fight, he wanted to compete because he knew he was the best. He knew like, okay, in my perfect form, I feel like I'm probably the best fighter in the world. But, he could, sense everybody's power, and he knew he was the best fighter in the world.
Yeah.
So I mean, when he fought Goku, it was maybe a little more evenly matched. But even I can't remember his name, Karin, the cat.
Kieran.
Oh, okay.
Kieran.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I knew it was something like that. Yeah. Kieran, like when Goku first left the hyperbolic time chamber and he powered up, Kieran was like,
goated scene.
yeah, you're strong,
But
Cell's still stronger. Cell's still stronger.
Yeah.
So I feel like he wouldn't have left, but like was Cell's intention, was it to like destroy the Earth? I don't think he cared about destroying the Earth.
I don't think
I think he really, as a Red Ribbon Army android, which he was, his goal was to beat Goku. That's all he
100%.
cared
That's
about.
all he cared about.
So
Yeah.
I feel like probably once if he killed Goku, he would have been like,
all right, guys.
deuces,
Yeah.
here's the finger.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
Well,
out
I
of
don't
here.
care
I'm gonna
about
find
you guys.
someone else
anymore.
stronger now.
I'll go find somebody stronger. I'll just sit here and do what I want.
Out of here, yeah.
Right.
But it's the thing. Do the ends justify the means? Like, let's say he did have a very noble reason, like to be the best that he could be. If you want to take it away and like look at it in an isolated chamber,
Right.
his goals were he wanted to be the best that he could. But if you want to be the best that you could and you eat a city worth of people over and over again,
I understand that, people. Yeah, no, I got it.
it's not you're still a bad guy.
Right. I'm not
You're still a
capping
bad
for
guy.
Cell as a good guy. I'm not saying that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a
That's
bad
fair.
guy for all the wrong reasons. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you're poking yourself into people and they're disappearing,
And you're
that
consuming
kinda
their
makes you
essence.
Yeah.
automatic.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was
Great
really-
question though.
That was the only reason why I would be scared of him, though, is because I don't want to get sucked into
Absorbed,
it too.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, if I was on the other side of the world, I wouldn't really necessarily be scared the world's gonna get destroyed by him. But like when Vegeta showed up, that guy's gonna destroy the world.
He's conquered. Yeah. Enslaved everybody.
Yeah.
He was like, Galagun, I'm
Yeah.
trying to do this
Yeah.
right. Goku, if you don't block this, it's a wrap, baby. Yeah, no, he
Nice.
was pissed. Vegeta
Yeah.
was pissed.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah.
And see, like I said at the beginning of the show, I was kind of listening to see if he had real geek cred. The
Oh,
fact that you
yeah,
called out the
yeah.
Galaga,
Oh, yeah.
if you know the name of the attack,
Yeah, there we go.
slow clap. The fact that you know the name of the attack. Respect.
Nice. Yeah, very
Respect.
I've earned my geek credit.
Yeah,
You've
you
earned
earned
it.
it. You
You've
earned it, man.
earned
Right
it.
here on the
There we
show.
go.
Proof.
Perfect.
Right
Yeah,
here.
right?
Yeah. The world knows now. The world knows now. Cool. Any other last things you want to talk about?
Oh man.
More questions?
No, I think it's pretty solid. That's good, man.
That's good. That's good conversation, man.
Yeah, great
Nice
conversation,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah,
I'm
fantastic,
glad
man.
you.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad was saying, my dad does this thing where he's like, oh, I'll listen to that show. As in, like, he doesn't listen to any other show.
I'll listen to that
But when I
show.
told him when you were coming on, then with Drew also, he's like, oh, yeah, with Drew coming on, yeah, I'll listen to that one. He's like, oh, with Dwayne, oh, I'll listen to that show.
Wait,
I was like,
wait,
well,
what
the other
about the other one?
165
Shout out to
episodes
the
we've
other
done.
one, Dad.
Yeah. So,
He looks in the eyes like,
but I think he's gonna be happy with this episode. I think. I
Pushing
get it,
to
yeah.
the next level.
Yeah,
That's all.
true.
Yeah,
That's
there
what
you
it
go.
is, yeah.
Jedi mind
Yeah,
tricks. You know?
exactly.
I'll listen to that show.
Shout out to Mr. Tucker. There we
Yeah.
go. Yeah, much
Dad.
respect. Much respect. Yeah.
Because you work out with them too, yeah? Or
Now, if you want to know who's really goated in the gym, Mrs. Tucker is goated
Yeah.
in the gym.
Mrs. Tucker.
My mom's a beast.
Oh my
the
God.
sweetest, nicest, but when the switch flips, Super Saiyan 12.
Oh my God.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh my
definitely,
God.
yes.
I met
Goated
your
in the
mom
gym.
once. She's
Yeah.
the sweetest.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
In
I
the
agree.
world, but I do know RJ said like her when she like her katas. that
Yeah,
she,
she's a martial artist. She's the captain of the basketball team. She's a competitor. She's fierce. Yeah, mom is what she has a
my
winner's mentality.
gosh.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Winner's
Oh my
mentality, yeah.
gosh! I'm like
Yeah.
looking at her like, oh, she's so sweet. She kicked my ass. Oh my God! Oh my God! She had me duped.
It's
Yeah.
funny because she will trick you, and you just think like, oh, she's super sweet, just kind of quiet, and then little by little, I'm like looking
Shut
at
your
her,
mouth right
Yeah.
now.
and then I'm like looking at Mr. Tucker, and he's like, you know, he sees her go up in weight, and he's like, all right, I gotta go up in weight, and she's like
my
looking like, oh, he
God.
went up in weight, I
Yeah.
can
I'm
go up
gonna
in
go
weight,
wait too.
Yeah.
Hey, Pete. Oh my
Yeah, I love
stars
it.
and
I love it,
garters.
for sure.
She doesn't
yeah.
take breaks. You
Man,
know, make her
at
take
all.
a break. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you've been with them
Yeah.
a couple times. Yeah, so
Because our mom
yeah.
will start next set. I'll be like, Mom, it's only been 22 seconds. You gotta
Jeez
give it a whole
Louise.
minute.
ready
Yeah.
to go now.
Yeah.
She's Vegeta.
Yeah.
She is the
Oh
prince.
my
Yeah.
Princess. All saying.
What I'm saying is, yeah.
Oh
Yes, for
my.
It's
yeah.
tough. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a tough one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
But cool. So we can move into our last two segments here then.
I don't know what's happening right now.
Maybe you should do a session with my parents, man. See how good, and you'll see it, man.
Yeah. I was nervous
It's
about
fun.
your dad. I feel like your dad's out of my league. Now your mom is out of my league?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
No, if they come on a Friday, that was one of the criteria.
If something happens.
I won't be there. I don't want them looking over at me
One of
while
the
they're working out,
stipulations.
like just looking at me, like shaking their heads while they're looking at me, like this guy.
Good. All right, so we're gonna get into our last two segments then.
Yes, let's do it.
First
Let's
thing
do it.
is, what are we into this week? Anything we're into this week? You guys want to talk about?
I will throw out that I did watch the 2 episodes of Alkalite.
Yeah.
Still kind of waiting to see where it's going. There
Yeah.
are some kind of things where you can kind of look at me like, you know what I mean?
Little
When there's
sideways
the
at.
agenda, like,
Yeah.
I feel like the agenda's in there.
Yeah,
But it's only
wasn't
2 episodes
As heavy
in.
though.
It wasn't that
as
bad.
heavy
It
so
wasn't
far,
that
yeah.
bad. It's only
Yeah.
2 episodes. So, you know,
6 more to
I'm going to
go.
give it a chance, see where it's going, keep watching, hoping it
Does something.
I'm curious to see where it's going. I will say that my quote unquote negative mind could see like, oh, they may end up doing this and this to justify, you know, like we were talking about before, like they do things now to justify the movies.
Oh
kind of thing.
yeah. Mhm.
I feel like I might kind of see where that's going. I'm kind of curious about the two, like the twins that they
Yeah.
got going on. Are they gonna, you know, are they gonna try to overshadow like Luke and Leia? Kind of thing. That's
yeah.
I'm nervous about that. If they're gonna try to say like twins are the answer and these are the first twins, and
Yeah, they did it first.
Luke and Leia are like the secondary. If that happens,
Done. Written off.
I'm gonna start setting
Yeah.
fires in the streets. If they try to do like twins, you know, being better than Luke and Leia,
Yeah.
if that comes into play any kind of way,
Done.
none of you are safe. So
There, man. I think there are some rumors about like what's going on with the Force and how, and they're gonna
Like
redefine
the light and the dark
what
side,
the Force
yeah.
is,
Yeah.
in some weird ways. And I know some rumors about it, but I'm gonna wait till the episode comes out next week. It's supposed to be episode 3. It's supposed to be something big, a big reveal.
yeah.
And it seems like they're changing what the Force means. But you know, we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. Yeah. No, so far as of now, you know, we'll take it as is. It's not
Yeah.
terrible.
So
but-
they're doing it like in the middle when we already know, like towards
What
the,
is.
you know, past that point, it's
Yeah.
light and dark, and they're gonna change.
not even that. Like where the Force comes from is a big. I don't want to ruin anything.
Okay, yeah. Let's see what happens.
But yeah, okay, for sure.
Yeah. So that they got new episodes. They've been out for a while. Of My Hero Academia is out. Demon Slayer.
Those are
Crunchyroll.
Yeah,
on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, those are the ones we got to cover, so I got to catch up. I haven't seen much of any of those.
Yeah, great shows. Demon Slayer, I've changed my mind on it after like the first season or the first 2 seasons. I was like, it's okay. Now I'm like
all about it, right?
Yeah, now I'm all about it. So great shows. I'm trying to think what else I've watched. I think those are the main things. I did start watching some of the later episodes, like the Boo saga of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
I've been watching that quite a bit, but that's about it. I know. I watched House of the Dragon because I know the next season's coming out, so I ended up watching quite a bit of that.
Refresh that.
I think I put that on the list for us to cover, so I gotta watch the first season.
Yeah, House of the Dragon is
Game of Thrones, right?
Have you seen Game of Thrones?
I have. All of it. And
he has not seen Game of Thrones.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, if you want to say something bad about him, I'll let you.
I think if you get the first season,
I'm gonna do my Il Duce.
I think you'll be hooked like everybody else.
Oh wait, say that again. Wait, stop. You said first episode. No. You said everybody wait. Say what you said again, please, one more time.
If you can get through the first season, I think you'll be hooked for sure. Yeah.
See, I told him if you watch the first episode.
Well, the first episode's even pretty.
No, there's two
I don't want to give
Good night, everybody.
No, he said. If
that's my time.
If you can get. Good night, everybody. Screw you, Mark. I'm leaving. This
dirty, filthy SOB. I told him. And he's like, no.
You're clearly saying two different things. He said if you can get to the first season, you'll be hooked. You said if you're not into the first episode, you're not going to like the show.
Right. And
two different things.
I agree. Okay. But then you turn around and said if you're not into the first episode.
The first episode, though, right away.
How does that not hook you? It
starts pretty fast.
It starts.
It comes out the gates like.
Okay.
You already see where it's going.
He's like, okay, I trust you, Dwayne.
I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot.
Dwayne tells me, if you say so,
Dwayne's never steered me wrong. He hasn't seen me wrong yet, so.
Watch me fucking flip the table.
It's my leg day. It's my leg day.
This oh my stars and garters.
I did start to realize something myself, though, and even when it comes to like reading books or like genres that I like, I'm more of a sci-fi guy than a fantasy guy. Like I realized that about myself. So I like more futuristic stuff than past.
Yeah.
Fantasy stuff. I've noticed that recently. It's like, I gravitate more towards one side.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think that's a big deal. I think I'm sure it's still a good show with good writing.
Right.
But,
no, it's a fantastic show. Like the last
season.
I mean, the last season of Game of Thrones.
Everybody
I think nobody's
the last season was.
They screwed the pooch on that, definitely. But it's still, the show is so good. Like, as bad as that last season is, it doesn't ruin the series overall. It's still, it is going to go down as one of the best series, if not the best series ever made. It's going to go down.
If they could nail the last season, or if they could slow it down a little bit.
Right. If they had split that into 2 seasons.
Or was able to, I think the initial
they would have gone
was to
out.
make it 10 and they made it 8, I think, right?
Yeah.
Like
I think the two showrunners wanted to go do something with Disney.
They were offered a Star Wars project that ended up getting canned. Later on, they're not doing it anymore. Okay. So like they wanted to rush through it so they can go do that.
Right. I mean, that's what I heard too. Yeah. I mean, I wonder if it's true, but I heard the exact same thing. That seemed like very it's that whole killing the goose that lays the golden eggs kind of thing. It's like, why would you?
HBO is like, you can take as much time as you guys want, as many more seasons as you guys want.
Right, they're not going to argue with that.
Do whatever you guys want because it's a hit. And they're like, nah, we'll do one more season with 8 episodes,
and we'll wrap it up. Like, you need more time. It's like, no, we don't.
Yeah.
But
then I guess with the spinoffs and House of Dragons, they'll probably have another at some point in time too. I could kind of see it going in different directions. Type of thing. But if they could have nailed that last season, it probably would be in the GOAT tier of like
it would
all those types of series.
There's always going to be an asterisk with that show now. You know what I mean? Because again, it's always going to be talked about as one of the greatest shows ever made. But there's always going to be that asterisk, that caveat with it. If they hadn't blown the last season. If they, it's always gonna be there. It's always gonna be hanging over their heads.
Gotcha.
Anyways, but solid show. House of the Dragon.
Yeah,
watch that. That's a solid show too. That one's really good. Yeah,
solid first season.
Yeah. So if you want, check that out. I'm not
gonna. I know it's on our list to watch season 2. So
season 2 is coming out. Yeah,
do some kind of
there's a lot of stuff coming out. House of the Dragon is coming out. The Boys is coming out.
Yeah, a lot of stuff this summer.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty good, pretty interesting.
Speaking of the GOAT shows, I'm catching up on Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso is one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. Man, it's so.
Oh, you're catching up on it because they've already done the last season of it, right?
It's on season 3 is the one that they just finished. There's the most recent one. I think there's another one.
Is there a 4th one coming out?
I think there's got to be another one because it's not gonna be wrapped up. I only have like 2 months.
I thought they were, but okay.
Oh really?
Okay.
Oh maybe.
I thought they were.
Oh, maybe. I mean,
I haven't watched it though.
I think I'm on episode like 8 or 9 of season 3. So if it wraps up in a couple episodes, maybe it will. But
yeah.
But it's such a phenomenal show all around.
I've
acting,
heard it's fantastic.
Storytelling, all that stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then I watched Still, the documentary, the Michael J. Fox documentary.
Oh, I didn't know this was
freaking phenomenal, man. It's amazing. It's
what channel is that on?
It's on Apple also. Okay. Apple Plus. Yeah, but it's phenomenal, man. About his whole basically his whole life. From where he started out as a kid to, struggling as an actor to getting Back to the Future. And then, obviously Parkinson's immediately after when he was like 29, I think.
Wow. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and he hit it for a long time. But the interviews with him are amazing. That's so good, man. It's so good. It's incredible. Now, I'm a big Michael J. Fox fan.
Yeah.
Back to the Future is probably my favorite movie.
Yeah. He was gold on Family Ties.
Yeah,
a show that came out like back in the 80s or whatever.
Yeah,
but everybody loved.
Yeah.
Everybody loved him. He was he was like in a family, like his parents were hippies. They didn't dress like, hippies or whatever, but at one point in time they were very liberal, and he was this extremely conservative character on the show, like an unrepentant Republican on the show.
Yeah.
But it was never anything abrasive like politics are now. And it was all just, it was funny. It was hilarious. Yeah. He stole the show.
He became the star, essentially.
He became the star of the show.
Yeah,
100% he did.
Which is the family thing, yeah.
Nobody regretted it.
Yeah.
Anybody watching the show was like, let's see more of that guy. He's fantastic. So,
yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, man, there's a documentary about him. Very
phenomenal,
very cool.
man. I loved it. Very, very good. But yeah, that's basically it.
That's cool.
Anything you're new this week, Jim?
I'm trying to get the young one into the classics for video games. So they had this system on TikTok. It has like old school games, a bunch of different game systems, Nintendo, Sega, Atari, like a bunch of old school games for sure. It's like $40 or something like that. Super cheap, plug it into the TV, whatever. And he's been getting into video games with his big brother. But it's stuff that he can't, manage. It's just too much technicality to it, etc.
Yeah.
So just start him off with the basics. So Mario Kart,
nice.
Star Fox. I think got him into Streets of Rage one time with me. He played a couple rounds of that. Like just get him into the basics so he could have something that he could bond with.
Yeah.
And trying to use it to inspire him to want to like read more and get him more into like comics, books, whatever. I don't care what he reads, just as long as he's reading, and just getting his literature up and stuff like that.
That's cool.
That's probably the only new thing that I've got going on.
Nice.
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Very
that's
cool.
very cool. Yeah, you excited for Deadpool Wolverine?
I am actually. Yeah, I definitely am. Interested to see after X-Men 97 kind of how this turns, how they lead into X-Men and how that's going to evolve in the MCU. But I try to keep my expectations really low.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm just like,
you're setting yourself up, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to get myself like all hyped up and then just like
a little bit of let down. Yeah.
But
I get it.
I feel like it'll be a good movie for sure. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, the other ones have been phenomenal, the first two, and they haven't really changed anything, so they're staying the course like we were talking about earlier. Like, if we were to expand, we want to, my thinking is let's keep the show the way it is. That's what got us there. It feels like they're kind of doing the same thing. Hopefully they are. So I feel like I feel like it's going to be a good show.
They should know.
Oh, true.
Don't mess with this one. Yeah. So, I hear Ryan Reynolds has to fight a lot for what he wants, on this. He has been. He's been fighting a lot about with the studio about what he wants on this movie. So,
and my question is why?
Why you gotta fight? Why you gotta fight for what you know?
Clearly, he's done it. He's done better than the junk you've been putting out. So maybe you should let him run your. Sorry. I'm out of drink. Let me calm down. Jeez Louise.
Cool, man. All right, so with every guest we do rapid fire questionnaire.
Yes, we do.
So we're gonna run some rapid fire questions. Nothing, no wrong answers.
Okay.
And
Unless I say so.
top of your list. Yeah, whatever you say goes, man. Cool.
All right,
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You know what? I do have a couple of questions that I made up too.
Okay.
I know
Yeah.
this is. I am gonna 110% say this was Trent's epiphany that came out of nowhere.
yeah.
Like I want to start doing like rapid fire questions, and they were gold. They are gold. So that's okay. Delete this too. That's like the second. Maybe that's the first nice thing I ever said about you. So that was
2 in one episode.
2 in one episode.
That's
Right.
like a record.
Yeah, don't watch this.
Really strong drink.
Strong drink. Yeah, let me
Yeah,
step
put
that
it on a
aside.
plaque, somebody. Put it on a plaque. I'm hanging it back here. Sorry, man. On this day.
Was that was gold. So I might slip in some of the questions.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Let's do it, man. Yeah. Heck yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was curious. Last week, you're like, I got some questions. Like, oh, what are they? You're like, well, I'm on me.
Yeah,
I was like,
and then I think I like had some in mind. I forgot them, but I think I figured most of them out. So yes, let's do the questions, and I will slip them in.
All right,
Yes,
let
yes.
me know when you want to jump in. We'll just
I will.
All right, cool. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Ooh, my mom's a Trekkie hardcore.
What about you?
To my appeal, I have to say Star Wars. I have to.
Okay.
I have to say Star Wars.
For sure. Marvel or DC?
Damn, man.
Trent ain't playing around, y'all.
Ooh, that's hard. I have to say DC.
okay.
I have to say DC.
Gotcha.
Gotta be honest with myself.
Why? Let me ask you really quick. Why?
Batman's my favorite character.
Okay.
Yeah. You and Wilbur. Same.
Yeah, I think he's always my favorite character. I think just his character, just his personality.
He's got to be the most interesting. In,
he's definitely
American
like
comics,
a very interesting character. I think also too just the whole MCU. I'm sorry, the DCU, like the different types of characters that they have, different profiles. Some people are like royalty, Wonder Woman, stuff like that. Superman is like a somewhat god, masking himself as like a regular man. Like it's a lot of different like levels to DC to me than just Marvel. Marvel's got a lot of interesting characters too, but it all kind of fits the same mold, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Versus DC is kind of different levels and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
I like that answer.
So,
Cool. Yeah, great answer.
Good
Great answer.
Yeah. Team Cap or Team Iron Man in Civil War?
I was Team Cap.
Yeah.
If my boy, got into some trouble, I'm not snitching. That's just the code from where I'm from, fellas. I can't fight where I'm from. That's just how I was raised. I'm sorry. I understand Iron Man. I'm not mad at him at all. I understand completely. I don't know if me and my boy jump him that viciously at the end. We might just run away, Yeah. But at the same, I was Team Cap all the way, and I think the majority of people are Team Iron Man for sure. So I have to say,
I think a lot of the answers were Team Iron Man.
Yeah.
And I want to say, like in a realistic setting, like let's say I'm a normal person, like living in that world. Like I feel like, or let's say those circumstances popped up in this world. I feel like I would want that stuff to be registered, like for that stuff to be on a list. Like I don't want someone that's a potential nuclear bomb
threat.
Walking around and like nobody knows about it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That being said, though, I'm still I'm
a little anti.
Guy.
I'm like, I am a nuclear bomb, and it is what it is. Like, but you have to trust me when you trusted me to save the world. You have to trust me in those situations. Like, why would you want to register this?
That's a good point. When you save the world,
I do like Kevin had that line. He's like, but you're gonna tell us when to hit and who or something.
Exactly.
Like that.
Yeah. You like weaponize us in a way.
Yeah.
I'm not like anti like government person or something like that, but I can understand people that kind of are, because that has happened in the past where it's like now you're kind of like taking this and kind of using it to your advantage. Yeah. And I guess in that way that's just I'm more of a Team Cap guy.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to play devil's advocate because again, I feel like I'm a Team Cap, but that's, I'm looking at it from a whole different perspective. Yeah, from a bigger picture. I'm on the outside looking in at it. But if I was a normal person in, let's say in this world, like I said, it came into this world, I don't know how I would feel about, a bunch of, superpowered people coming into my country and doing whatever they want. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if I was in a foreign country and these, heroes came in to get a bad guy or do whatever they said they're doing, you know, me as an American looking over saying like, thumbs up, do it. But if I was a citizen of that country and these guys came into my country, just, you know, destroyed a bunch of stuff, ignoring the sovereignty of my country and just doing what they want, how excited or happy would I be about that?
Yeah.
I guess it all depends. You know what I mean? Like Iron Man in the first movie, he came over and he flew out of the country and blew up a bunch of bad guys when he had his Iron Man suit. You know what I mean? So all those people in that village, I'm sure, were happy. But if you do that on a different scale, if you keep doing that, how excited are you going to be about that?
Respect to Iron Man too, because he definitely evolved. I think what that showed in that moment was he was like evolving as a character. Like he was doing a lot of that stuff in the first like Iron Man movie, first Avengers. He kind of was. Then he had that vision when he went into, you know, the portal or whatever.
Yeah.
And then in that movie, he kind of was like, wait a minute, maybe we do need some limits.
We need an iron suit around the world.
We need an iron suit around the world. Like it just showed his evolution throughout the whole like that series. It just was pretty epic. So I do love Iron Man. That's my girlfriend's favorite character.
Okay.
But I'm still Team Cap.
I'm still Team Cap. I'm gonna slip in. I'm gonna slip in. Have you Alien or Aliens? Have you seen both of those movies?
Here we go.
I know. I almost didn't do it. I almost didn't do it because it's so like, you know, I'm doing it for myself. But it's on my list. Alien or Aliens? Which one do you prefer? Have you seen them both?
I've not seen that I remember.
Okay.
I feel like I was kind of younger when that came out. Okay. I've always been a little more of a Predator guy, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I'm going to throw that in randomly because that's not the question at all.
But you said that. I respect that you made that distinction. So
I want to say Aliens was when there was like the alien that had like the extra like he would spit out, and then there was another like mouth that would come out and like bite the hell out of you. I think that's the one, right?
They might have done that in both of them, but the second one was when like the Space Marines went on the planet and were doing the thing, and Alien was the one where they had the one alien was on their ship and kind of, you know, quote unquote terrorizing
going
them.
Through everybody.
Going through everybody.
I remember that one, so I remember Alien, the first one. So I guess I have to go with that.
Alien. Okay.
Okay. Finally got
remember that one.
Finally. Okay. Okay. So I had another one. If you could live forever, would you? Why or why not?
This probably is gonna go way off kilter. I believe we're all gonna live forever somewhere, right?
Okay.
That's more of a spiritual faith type thing. In a human body, I would not.
You would not want to live forever?
I would not want to, no. I don't think we're made and set up in these bodies to live forever. But I think the heart of us, the spirit of us, is set up to live forever.
Okay, cool. Yeah. If you could stay healthy, like let's say the way you are right now, if you could stay healthy like this would you want to live forever like this? Is the answer still no?
Ooh. One of my favorite movies is An Interview with the Vampire.
Great movie.
And I feel like that was one of the issues is as he aged and all his loved ones were dying and he was still, you know, in his prime and peak. And it's like, it just gets lonely, you know, or you keep playing the same scenarios
interesting dynamic,
over and over. So I feel like in this moment, I would say yes.
Okay.
And then 200 years from now, if we were doing the same podcast with another iteration of it, I'd be like, it might be time to go, guys. You know, all my guys are gone, or, you know, the people that I really, truly loved and have relationships with are gone. So I probably say no.
There's an anime you might want to check out at some point called Frieren. Is that what it's?
Oh yeah.
Because it somewhat deals with that because there's a character who is essentially immortal or pretty close to it. I don't know if they say she is. Yeah, she's an elf, but she deals with having friends that come and go. So that has always been the most interesting thing to me about immortality. Right. You know what I mean? Like, but you got to think of it this way too. Like you had friends when you were a kid. You have friends now. You probably have friends further down the line. True. You know, it's always a revolving door, so to speak. So even, you know, once you do hit 200, 300, you'll probably have new friends. But that's neither here nor there. So that's 100% cool. That's your answer. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
If
you can choose any geek universe to exist in, what would it be?
I'm sorry?
Any geek universe to exist in, to like be in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a fun one, right?
Yeah.
Dang, that's hard. Wow. I mean, on the topic you brought up, the new My Hero episodes, that kind of seems like a unique place to be. Especially since they say like a majority of people are born with a quirk.
Yeah,
that way. I'd like to know.
I'm paying attention. This guy knows.
I'd like to know what quirk, like,
you are a geek.
If my friends were in the universe with me, I like to obviously know my own quirk, but even like what my friends' quirks would be. I always am interested in like people's potential. So I think if in this moment I would say My Hero, I would live in that universe.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, there'd be a good chance you would have a quirk of some kind.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in kind of following up that question, which universe would you like to live in? Which universe would you destroy?
Oh.
That's a question I should be asking.
I feel like that is a trick question. What do you hate?
Every single one, bro.
Oh man. Okay. Geek wise, if I had to destroy one, it would be Dragon Ball GT. 100%.
Erase from existence.
Erase from existence. Never existed. Never even came along.
Fantastic answer.
Shout out and R.I.P. Akira Toriyama. Was completely adamantly against. And you know, if that's just a little sense of vengeance, you know, hey, that's
wow, great.
I'm about avenging my boys.
That's the first time that question has been posed.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
Fantastic answer.
Yeah,
fantastic answer.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That's good.
GT.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So.
What superpower would you like to have if you could choose?
I mean, flight's always interesting.
That's what everybody says too. Because I was going to say, what power would you like to have it, but you can't say flight. But what's your second or your next?
The scariest, I think this. I'm not saying I would choose flight. I just think it's always interesting because you could be among the stars down there. You know, the scariest one to me would be like Professor X. Like I know what everybody's really thinking, deepest, darkest secrets, and you know what their intent is, and I just feel like that's kind of crazy to me.
That's cool that you get it though.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think I would want that power. That's like the furthest that I would ever want for sure. If I could take a superhero's power, I feel like I would take the mantle of like the Green Lantern. Because I feel like that's one where I could pass the power to like the next generation, right? Like I don't want to hold on to it forever. I just do what I need to do in my time and generation, and then once it's time to pass it, kind of find a successor and then continue to roll with that. I think that's like the coolest. Like, that's actually kind of a cool shtick that they have for that one. So,
nice. Hey, DC, John Stewart over here.
Hey,
there you go. I'm a John Stewart
right. There we go.
This is the guy. This is the guy for it.
Or I'll train your next John Stewart.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, I got one. Knowing everything you know now, would you rather be reborn today or keep your original birth date? So what I mean, like like I said, knowing everything you know at this point in time, would you like to be born when you're originally born and take that knowledge with you? Or would you rather be born in 2024 and, be young? You know what I mean? In this day and age. Right.
I mean, there would definitely be some positives to it. Even just thinking in like the training space, how different things are. Like I remember playing my senior year in college football, and I don't even think they reconditioned our helmets or nothing like that, right? And now it's like concussions are like a big thing, all this stuff, right? So obviously moving forward would always be interesting. But if I could go back with what I know now, I definitely know I would definitely move different, change, make different decisions. I'm not a regrets guy. I don't necessarily have regrets in life, but if I could sway some things more positively in my life or others around me, I definitely would go back with what I know now.
That's cool.
What's
wrong with that? Yeah.
What made a meal or snack food from a geek universe have you ever always wanted to try?
My cousin and I used to grab these. They were like strawberry something, like strawberries and cream, like a gummy type of flavor type thing, right?
Yeah.
And we always just call them sensu beans. So I feel like the sensu bean is like the standard for like,
there you
if
go.
I could recover my strength, my energy, stuff like that. Like, so sensu bean, I know that's probably like a little bit of a cop out, but
practical though. Practical.
Had a long day at work. I'll pop a sense of being.
Yeah.
It is, you know.
Yeah. Nice.
Right on. The Harry Potter question, was that
Oh yeah, I just skipped that by accident. Yeah.
No worries.
Harry Potter house. Do you know?
I know a little bit.
Yeah. You have a house that you're in or identify with.
Do I know enough about them? Because the only ones I really know are Gryffindor and Ravenclaw.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Ravenclaw or Slytherin?
Slytherin, okay,
Yeah.
Slytherin. Those are only two that I kind of get a vibe from.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about the other two. Right, it's two more, right?
There are, yes, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know enough about the other two.
Okay,
to
cool.
know what their vibe is. So I know I'm not Gryffindor, and I know I'm not Slytherin.
Interesting.
So I'm like, I would actually like to know more about those other two in between.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Ravenclaw is very intellectual.
Yeah, it's
right?
like the wit essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Hufflepuff is like the loyalty basically.
Oh
Okay.
wow.
Loyalty.
Loyalty
Yeah.
and what was the other? Loyalty and there's like a
Like they're like their words or a motto of some kind.
Yeah, I think wit and something is Ravenclaw, bravery and
Is
something
Gryffindor,
and then
Slytherin, I don't know what their words are, but they're always considered like the conniving ones.
Yeah,
It's a little
Rich
dark.
and conniving. Yeah.
I know I'm not those two for sure.
Yeah.
And you saying loyalty and intellect, I feel like that's more my speed. Like that's
Well,
probably more. I'm probably more. In
so you probably get put
between
in one of
two.
those two houses. Yeah.
Probably more than likely.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think we identify with
Yeah, I'm Ravenclaw.
yeah,
And
I identify with Hufflepuff. There's not a lot out there about Hufflepuff, but yeah, my reasons are they're
I know, yeah.
yeah.
You
My
made
reasons
you
like
made your
the reason why there's not a lot about Hufflepuff because they don't have to brag about themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
That's how
okay,
good they are.
gotcha.
So, and like when they chose somebody to represent the whole school, he came from Hufflepuff. So I'm gonna leave that there.
Respect.
I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna because the Harry Potter. So I'm gonna jump in. Which fictional character do you identify with the most?
That's oh man, so many different guys. That I personally identify with. Dang, that's tough. That's really tough. If I had to pick personally, damn, you guys put me in the tough spot. That's probably the hardest question because it's like I could take pieces of people.
Sure.
But I can't say anybody solely
100%
speaks to me, and my story, and my lifestyle.
Yeah.
There's parts of me that like I get like I can understand like future Trunks.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Kind of what he came from, why he is the way he is, kind of emotional, but at the same time like a little bit brave. Of like somebody's got to do something, right? Parts of me can understand. Like again, Batman is one of the most interesting characters to me. Gambit in this last season of '97 has always been one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Gambit and Cyclops were always two of my favorite guys.
Nice.
And Cyclops has been elevated in '97, and then Gambit has always been the guy that can play the back, but when it's time, like, hey, I know I need to do this. You get that sense like he's always had his issues or whatever, but when it's time to step up, I can step up type of thing, right? If I have to pick one character at this point in my life, I would say Magneto.
Oh crap! Wow.
Magneto.
Yeah.
Just because it's like you sense the pain and like you get it, like you just get it. You know what I mean? Like not to give an excuse as to why he does some of the foul things he does.
Yeah.
But again, it's like if anybody has a reason to,
It's that guy. Yeah.
it's that guy.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like I kind of understand, and I really, especially this season, how they rushed through it. I sided with him way over Professor X when it came down to like the final episode. I was like, oh, I'm Team Magneto all day for sure. And I always have been a big fan anyway, but I'd say personally, even a lot of that stuff appeals to me, like how he thinks, his mindset, his distrust of different, regions
People
of
that burned him.
Like that. I get it. I understand. So.
Yeah, I love it when you told him to shut up. I want to say these two words to you forever.
Bro.
Shut up.
Definitely.
Like that. That's the perfect thing to say to Xavier.
Yeah.
Like stop running your mouth, dude.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I'm anti Xavier at all, but I got that. I got that
understand.
part where he's coming from.
Right.
Interesting. I was going to throw out really quick.
yeah.
Sorry, just about that whole. There at one point in time, there was like this theory. This is on a tangent. You know, you're talking about Cyclops and Gambit because Sinister is. Well, at least in the comics, I think at some point in time he was really connected with Gambit.
Yes.
And I think some people there's a theory that he might have been a clone of some kind, maybe of Cyclops. Like that's the reason why his eyes are the way his eyes are, so they don't emit those optic beams.
Interesting.
Because those optic beams are like the only thing that we know of that can really hurt Sinister.
Right.
So there might have been some genetic finagling to.
Sounds like Sinister.
Yeah, but that was just a theory going around at one point in time. I don't think anything ever came of it, but yeah, it was interesting that you mentioned those two, and it reminded me of that. So
Definitely.
Okay, yes.
Gotcha.
So
I'll write on my last question. So do you have
which one, the snack food or
no geek culture? Like
what about the snack food though? Did you ask that?
Yeah,
the sensu beans. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Sensu beans. Let me see. Hang on a second. Maybe that is it though.
Okay. Yeah, so we're at hour and 40 already. So
Yeah.
so we can probably get that pretty soon.
That was my last one. Please
Okay,
go
cool.
ahead. Yeah.
So what do you think is an important lesson you've learned or people can learn from geek culture?
Be yourself.
Ah.
Be genuine.
Simple.
I feel like that's hella cliche though. Can I roll that back and take it back? And
I mean, if you want to, you can. But
I think it just.
I mean, that you said the first thing that came. You know what I mean? So, but whatever you want to say. If you want to say something else, or
I think that's it. Just be genuine. Be who you are. Be authentic to yourself. And like that doesn't mean you dive into yourself and you're self-absorbed either. You know, like you could take elements from different people, different cultures, religion, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I think things speak to us, right? And like what speaks to you versus somebody trying to influence you to say something that speaks to you and it doesn't really. You know what I mean? Like, and just honor that and be true to yourself and kind of key in on that voice. That's kind of, everybody has their own little guiding light principles that lead them to whatever path they might choose in themselves. So I think if you always kind of be true to like your desires and what you really want to focus on and really search that intent, you'll be okay. Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Well said, man. Well said. Cool. Yeah, if we're going to cap it up on anything. That's right there.
That's it.
Yeah. Seriously, man, dude. Thank you for coming on the show, man. I know it's been a long time coming, man. We've been talking about this for the last year or so. It's been working out.
Glad to
want to get you on the show. Finally got you on, man. This was a great episode.
Oh, and if you can give our audience any final thoughts or advice?
Oh, that was pretty much that.
That's all
I've been kind of trying to figure out just to get rid of that last question because it usually ends up being that.
Okay,
right
that's
there.
cool. No, that drives. That drives.
Yeah.
Okay.
But cool.
Nice, man. Yeah, man. Thank you, dude, for
appreciate it, man. Definitely
coming on the show, man. 100%.
Super fun, man. This was a really good episode, man.
Very good.
Very
good.
I had a good time.
You good guest, man. See, I was a good guest. Good talker, man. Yeah.
Damn, I'm glad you know your stuff, man, because you've been like, I never heard of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man.
Yeah.
If I would have said that right away, you'd be like, all right, let me go ahead and escort you back down.
Come this way.
Yeah, let's talk about this, brother.
But yeah, seriously, man. Thank you, man, for coming on the show, man.
Sure.
And obviously, open door, man. Everyone come back on, dude. Open invitation.
100%,
come back on
100%.
anytime. Anything you want to talk about with us, dude? We cover a lot of things. So.
Yeah, you got something on your mind, right?
Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah, we'll be covering My Hero pretty soon. So yeah, that's
also true.
Yeah, but
I'm down.
Just throwing it out there.
Very
Just throwing it out
cool,
there.
very
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool, man. So next week we're gonna be covering Mushoku Tensei, the second part of season 2.
Yes.
That's wrapped up. I think this week.
Yeah, or
1st of June. Yeah, last episode just I think came out recently this week. So we'll cover that next week. So you guys want to catch up? Well, we did the first season and the part of the second season. Yeah, a couple weeks ago. Yeah, a couple years ago. So
yeah, it was a while ago. Right.
Yeah. So we'll cover that next week. Catch up on that. Let us know what you guys think. But yeah, where can they find you, Duane? Where can everybody find you?
Train with Duane, all one word, on all platforms. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the things, or X, whatever.
Yeah, right.
YouTube, all the stuff.
Yeah.
Train with Duane, all one word. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and if you want to be like this guy and get this body, you got to train with Duane.
Yeah. Either one. You take your pick. You take your pick.
Yeah, if you want this one or that one.
Right, we're all about freedom of choice.
They're both good. In their own ways.
Fantastic. They're both fantastic.
Both have their advantage.
No one's saying nothing about either of them.
Speed and luxury. You know what I mean? Speed and luxury. Yeah, I'm cool with it. Yeah.
As you can tell, we work at the same place.
There we go.
At the same place. Yeah. But check us stuff out. He has some good content too, some funny clips that you put up also. But his training program is the best, man. I felt the best I haven't felt this good in years.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the best I've felt ever. So yeah, feeling pretty good working out with Duane. So yeah.
Appreciate you, brother.
Guess that's it then.
That's it, baby.
All right,
that's
it. Thank you guys for tuning in as always.
Appreciate it.
We're here every week. But yeah, my name's Trent.
My name is Mark.
Duane.
Yeah, and this has been
Geek Off The Street.
Nice.
That's good. That was good.
That was
man.
good.
Fantastic,
man.
man. That was fantastic. That was great.
That was a fun.
That was a great.
We got some
had a good
good meeting there.
Yeah.
The time went hell of. I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
We spent some good time, but
That's
I
long
felt
up
good.
Yeah,
Okay.
because at one point I was like, we were talking, I just happened to look over the clock and I was like, it's only been 19 minutes?
Yeah, I was like,
I was like, holy crap.
We gotta pad this.
Yeah,
I look back, it's
and
like,
then all of a
it's
sudden,
been an hour
now
and
it's
20
like,
minutes.
holy shit, it's been 2 hours almost.